This one, I'm trying to decide if it's clickbait or not, because I guess, like, I know a lot of people that don't actually need a service dog are going to click on the video, but, like, I'm just telling the truth here. So, yeah, that's where that stands. Okay, so basically, I'm just going to be going through, like, what you need and what, like, and how to get a service dog the real way, and, like, the legit way. You're not going to be breaking laws with it. So, yeah, that's pretty much how this is. Right. Okay, so first off, you need to be disabled. This doesn't mean you have anxiety that stresses you out before tests. Okay, that's everybody. That doesn't mean that you need a service dog for it. Alright? Something you need to remember is not all conditions or disorders are disabling. This means not everybody's POTS is disabling. Not everybody's asthma is disabling. Not everybody's PTSD is disabling. Not everybody's, diabetes is disabling. It genuinely depends on you. It depends on you as a person, and it depends on what your doctors say. So, along that same line, one person can be disabled by an illness, but this does not mean that everyone with this illness or this illness is also disabled. So, like, for me, with my POTS, that is the thing, like, one of the things that seriously affects my day-to-day life. I have trouble with walking across campus because of my POTS. I can pass out at any second. And my doctors have said it is disabling. That's not me deciding it is. That is my doctors. It affects my everyday life. You can't just decide to get a service dog because you feel like it. And yeah. So with like doctors, you need to go to a medical professional or like a medical doctor, and not like a counselor or a therapist. If you're needing a psychiatric service dog, so for PTSD, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anything like that, then you need to go to a psychiatrist, not a psychologist, not your therapist, not a counselor, your school counselor, a professional counselor, nothing like that. You need to go to a psychiatrist so they can decide if this is truly the right path. And not went in for 2 visits and brought it up because they don't know you. It needs to be somebody that you've gone to for a while, for like a decent amount of time. Next is I know this is kind of a thing that a lot of people in the service dog community may not agree with, but for me personally, I say do not use a service dog as your first treatment option, but it doesn't need to be your last. So that's where the debate comes in, is a lot of people will say, like, it needs to be your last resort. Like, I don't think that's the case. If your doctor is on board and your doctor says that they think that it's going to help you, then it's okay. But if your doctor's like, no, I'm not sure, let's try this first, then that needs to be the path that you take. For a lot of people, it was their last resort. Like with me, it was my last resort. But I think, we were going down that path before we had tried other things. So another thing is, if your doctor says no, do not take it farther. Like, don't just decide that you're going to do it yourself. And, they could be saying no for quite a few different reasons. So one of those is it could just not help mitigate your disability. So, like, there's no tasks that the dog could do that will help you. Another thing is it's just not the right treatment for you. Like, it's just not possible for you. Like, there is a point where you could be too disabled for a service dog. Another thing on that is that if your doctor says no, don't decide you're going to switch your doctor, and in the first session or 2 sessions, you're going to bring up a service dog. All right? Like, okay. Now if your doctor says yes, then don't walk out of the office and go grab the first puppy at a shelter you see, or the first puppy at, at the mall that you see, or at a pet store. Don't grab, like, the first dog you see on the side of the road. Nothing like that, and decide it's your service dog. It's a process. You can't just pick up a random dog and say, this is my service dog now. No. Like, that's not how it works. You need to do research, and a lot of it. You need to figure out what breed you want. You need to figure out a trainer. You need to figure out if you want to do owner training or program training. You need to decide if, you need, like, if you're going with a breeder or a shelter. You need to look at social media, at Google, at news articles. The reason I say social media is because there's so many things, like, my channel, my Instagram, or other handlers' YouTube channels, other handlers' Instagrams, that are going to help. Like, they're really, really going to help you in the process. It'll kind of, okay, I'll be honest, like, a lot of us will only post the good stuff, but it will, like, help to show, like, the bad as well for a lot of the handlers that are opaque about it. So yeah, you need to look at all that kind of stuff. Familiarize yourself with the laws. So that's ADA and state laws, as well as your county laws. Figure out if, like, your county requires you to have your dog registered, like, as a county registration, then you need to do that. Figure out if your county or your state has any, well, they can't have breed bans if it's a service dog, but yeah, just figure out if, like, your dog needs to be registered as a dog, not as a service dog, but as a dog in your county. If there's any required shots, anything like that. Outside of the yearly ones that you have to get, like, figure out if, like, they require leptospirosis, if they require bordetella, like, all that kind of stuff. Because those aren't, like, they are, but they aren't included in, like, every year shots. Now, while you're doing all this, make sure you ignore all the scam websites. So this is the fake service dog registries. They look legit, but they are a scam. They are just trying to get your money. They are not recognized by federal law. They're not recognized by state laws, nothing like that. As I said, the only registration there is if your county requires you to have your dog registered with them so that they know that you own a dog. And this would be the same as if you were getting a pet. So after you've done all of your research, you figured out everything, write out a pros and cons list. I have a video on the pros and cons of service dogs, but write it out for you. Write it out of what, like, it's going to be like for your disability. Remember that you're going to be asked questions. You're going to get stopped. You're going to try and take a trip into the store for, a minute, 5 minutes, run in for eggs or milk or something, and it's probably going to take you like 30. Okay? Decide if it's worth it. If your dog gets sick and you can't take him with you, decide if that's okay. Decide, all that kind of stuff is something that you need to figure out, and just really think on if it's truly the right decision for you. The next thing is you need to have a trainer before you start. So this is going on before you get your puppy. Go and sit into into classes with a trainer. Go and talk to trainers. Go figure out what their experiences are. Figure out if you need to have a trainer for task work, and if you need to have a trainer for basics, or if you can have one that does both. Figure out if you want to do the public access test, because that's not required, but it's something you can do. I never did one with Belle. figure out if you're going to do your CGC, so that's your Canine Good Citizen. Figure out if you're going, just where you're going to go as far as your training. The only way that you can, like, really get around this is if you know what you're doing. And that's not just basics. Like, if you know what you're doing for basics, then you're okay, but, like, for that, you need to know what you're doing for task work as well. So, yeah, as I said, like, you need to know what you're doing for task work. Not just, oh, I trained, Joe's dog once. Okay, well, what breed was it? A lab. And they're pretty easy to train. Now, labs are a good, breed for service work. They're in the top 3, but, if you decide to get, like, a shepherd, you're not going to be able to compare it. Yeah. With the, like, top 3, I'd look into the Fab 5. So those are, like, what I see most common and what are most commonly referred to. You'll also probably hear Fab 3, Fab 4. But I just go ahead and say Fab 5 so it covers all of them, because when people say Fab 4, the 4th dog is always changed. So that's Goldens, Labs, Poodles, Collies, and German Shepherds. With Collies, you do need to be a little bit safer because they are herding breeds. They're not one that I'd recommend for service work. I don't recommend any herding breed for service work, but I've had to, and they're pretty good. I mean, Aries is more considered a working line, but, like, a working breed. But, yeah, like, Belle's a herding breed. She's a border collie mix, but, they were both good for me. So yeah, as I said, make sure you do research on breeds. Figure out, also write, like, a list of the tasks that you need them to perform. And, like, if you need mobility, you can't get, a toy poodle. That ain't gonna cut it for anybody. But if you don't need mobility, you just need, like, and then you don't need mobility, you need psychiatric stuff, then a toy poodle might cut it for you. But with that, you also need to think about, do you go to, like, a bunch of crowded places, because small dogs have the risk of being stepped on. And you don't want to carry your dog around everywhere because that makes you look like a fake. So yeah, with that, you also need to find supporters. When I say find supporters, I don't just mean your family, because I know family can not be supportive. You also, look in your friend group. If your friends aren't supportive, find new friends. If your significant other isn't willing to support you, then that's going to be, like, a serious problem, and you need to figure something out there. A lot of people will automatically say find a new significant other, but maybe it's they don't understand, so I try talking to them first. I just kind of figuring out what is needed and what's not needed for you guys, and what's going to work for you. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. If you guys have any more, like, questions, anything I didn't answer, then please comment down below, because I could see myself missing something. I'm open to talking about stuff. I've got more videos planned currently, quite a few more. And I'm still taking, like, video requests, though, for anything that you guys are interested in. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that this video was good for you guys, and yeah, that's about it. Alright, so please like and subscribe down below, and thank you for watching. Bye!